Welcome back, YouTube. We are here. It's early in the morning, Saturday. We are going to get started on doing some stuff. Don't know how far we're going to get. Might try to load the engine in today. We'll see. I don't know, man. We'll see. Two guys hit me up on YouTube. Michael is actually the guy that hit me up, and he's bringing his brother, but they're both coming down to check out the wiring harness, and they actually might help me go ahead and wire up the radiator fan and also the heat exchanger fan. They have the wiring diagram, so we're going to look at those and see how that's supposed to go and where it's supposed to go. But right now we're going to get these parts pressure washed. I have some parts soaking in a bucket of degreaser over there. We're going to pressure wash those and go ahead and get those motor mounts back on the motor and maybe install the motor. We'll see. Man, it's just definitely morning out here. Rainy, awful day. It's alright though. It's a great day. It just looks rough. Alright, I'm gonna hook up the pressure washer and run the hoses out, and we're gonna pressure wash these off. Alright guys, we are going to start working on the wiring for the heat exchanger and what else? Maybe the radiator fan. Luckily though, I had Michael Wilson, he came down. He's like kit 247, I think. They came down from Indiana, him and his brother. Really awesome guys, and we had some discussions about some stuff. And they actually helped me find the correct wiring for each one. So we just had to figure out what the hot and the negative was on the fan wires, but I'm gonna try to figure that out right now. And yeah, we'll go from there, see how it goes. Alright guys, so the black wire is the hot wire on the fan. I checked it and made sure the blades are spinning the correct way and blowing air through the heat exchanger. They are working correctly, so black's your hot, and it goes to the red wire. Mine was labeled heat exchanger. My radiator one was not, but it's the blue wire. That's your radiator wire. But anyways, got this dude soldered together. Tried the J-hook pattern. I guess did all right. Not the best solder. I have like literally the cheapest soldering gun ever also. But anyways, this is just gonna hook to a ground, maybe to the horn ground or something. But I'm gonna shrink wrap this and start on the radiator one. Alright, if you use too big of shrink wrap, it comes out really, really crappy. So, you've been warned. This is what it should look like. And it's a lot better. But anyways, they're done. So black on both fans is the correct rotation of both fans. I tested them both ways, made sure. By the way, these are super, like the most fragile fins I've ever felt on a radiator before in my life. I don't even remember touching it, and it's got one line right there and like a couple right there. Be careful. Alright, I'm gonna take care of the little odds and ends stuff. I'm gonna run the vacuum, or not the vacuum line, actual line for my brake fluid from my clutch over to my brake fluid and clutch reservoir. So cut that off and go ahead and do that. It's one less thing I gotta worry about. Alright guys, we're going to install the radiator hoses now. Alright guys, so you have two different sizes in your splices here for your radiator hoses. So you have your 1/8 and your your quarter. So make sure you get the 1/8 because obviously it's smaller than the quarter, so it won't fit in there like it should. I would say even the 1/8 is going to be tight, but just a side note, don't get confused on that. So I can't get the splice in here, so I'm going to heat this hose up, see if I can get this little junction to go in. Alright, so here we go. Got the radiator hose hooked up. It's like a front facing bend, and it goes all the way down to a reverse bend down here. Slipped on pretty easy up here. Just remember when you get down here, those collets, those splices or whatever, they're two different sizes, the 1/8 and the quarter. I had to heat the hose coming out of your frame. I had to heat it up to actually get it to accept the splice. So you may have to take a heat gun to that and let that rubber loosen up, stretch out a little bit. And make sure you leave enough hose, it's not going to create a bend. I started to cause a crease right here, just where my hose wasn't long enough. So make sure you do that. Leave it long enough that you're not going to cause a pinch point or anything like that. Mine feels like it's going to be alright, so I'm not too stressed about it, but yeah, I would cut more off of this angle because it's already got a bend, so you're not going to cause anything here. So I would cut more off that side and a little less off this side. I didn't do any measurements, I kind of did it by eye. The videos are so different now. I don't even know if you can use the measurements that are on there or not, but this stuff's pretty easy to figure out by eye. But yeah, now it's time to do the other side. Alright guys, this side sucked. I had to actually stretch this as much as I could because that piece, you don't really know what section of hose they want you to use. It comes in the boxes and stuff. But anyways, I cut that one probably a little too short or put it on too long. Anyways, I gotta put one more hose clamp back there, but it's good. It's flush all the way around, and I appear to have good bites on it everywhere, so hopefully it should last, you know. I guess we'll see if it starts leaking. I'll have to take it apart again or whatever, but I think it's good. Anyway, so the radiator appears to be done other than that one clamp. So probably gonna move on to the gas tank back there, but anyways, let's keep going and see what else we can get done. Alright, just a side note before I get started on the gas tank. I went back and fixed this, but I forgot to put the little rubber pieces of hose back here on this back rail and on this bottom rail. I put it underneath the tank and on the edges of the tank and everything like that, but I didn't put it on either side of the back here. It's going to be directly behind your back, so make sure you do that. I just think a lot of wear. You know, I was talking to Michael and his brother about it. I I think a lot of wear right there would definitely make that, you know, the friction on that, wear that band out. So doesn't hurt, just put a little extra rubber there, take care of your bands, and less vibration, less noise, all that good stuff. But we're gonna get started putting this this fill neck and everything together. I gotta grind it down, paint it, and all that good stuff. So here we go. Alright, I'm going to give advice on this backwards because I kind of have to, because I have to have it apart to actually show you what I did. The fuel pump. You have to flip the orientation of this head around, because when it comes straight out of the car, this head is actually rotated on these two springs this way. So it sets over here offset from the rest of the body down here. So the head will be here and the body will be here. You have to orient it like this, where it's directly above the rest of the body. To do that, you have to get into the body, which is, this whole thing sucks. I'm not gonna lie to you, the whole thing sucks. Everybody says it's easy. Bullcrap. It's not that easy. Anyways, so once you get into the body, I have to do this backwards, so just listen to me first. Once you get into the body, you have to get to this crimped head right here, and it's crimped down flat. And the best way to go about this is take a small screwdriver like so and get into a small crevice and start prying until you can widen it enough to get a full-size flathead in. And then you start prying with it, and you keep doing this over and over and over until you can get something like this that you can drive. If you have just a regular screwdriver, you can just drive a regular screwdriver up that rod and basically turn it back into a oval versus a flattened end. Anyways, whenever you have that oval back, these clips come off. They're just held by this one little snap right here on the side. That one little clip right there, you just pop it off and you pop that one off. This side is not crimped at all, so you don't even have to worry about it. This side, you have to take that crimp off, take these plastic things off. Once that comes off, this should slide up through there, but I mean, I had to work that whole piece. Sorry if I was like staring at that for like 5 minutes. I had to work that whole piece for like 20 to 30 minutes just trying to get it to slide up and through there. And then once you have it up through there, you don't have enough coil here in these lines to hardly get these out. So you really have to stretch all of this stuff to get all that out. I went ahead and disconnected this when I was taking all that apart, just because I didn't want to break anything. These gray wires, you might be able to disconnect them. I didn't even go that route because I was like scared to mess with any of it. But anyways, I'm gonna put the body back together and I'll show you how I got the body apart. I guess I could just edit this where, you know, I'm showing you the body first and then go back and show you all this. I may just do that so you guys have a clear understanding of what I'm saying. But anyways, when you're inside the body and or you take the outer shell off and you have the full body, just remember, you gotta pry that open to where the crimp's gone, and you have to make it smooth again. I even took a grinder to it, which was completely sketchy because fuel, not a lot in there, but you know, still the reminiscence of, I was a little sketched out. But anyways, got that back off, and you take those clips off, and you pull that out, flip it, put it back together. That's all you gotta do with that. Anyways, I'm gonna put this body back together, and I'll show you how to get the body off of the rest of this, or the cover. I don't know what you want to call it. But anyways, okay, to get in there, take your screwdriver and pry that clip up so you don't have to fight it. Take pieces of zip ties, pry that out enough to stick that zip tie in like that. Alright, and you put a piece of zip tie there, there, and there. And once you have like your 4 pieces of zip ties in, then you can just pop it all off, and you don't have to worry about having one clip that clips back in. This is an easy trick. It's fast. It's worth doing. Trust me. And then whenever you're done with it, you can put it back in and it clips back together. But the fuel pump is done. One more thing I don't have to worry about. Thank goodness, because I was tired of worrying about it. Alright, hope this helps. Okay, as for the fuel line, I actually cut like probably 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more than 1/4, off of the fuel line, and then I notched it so that the breathing tube can fit a little bit better. But that was actually pretty difficult, putting this little dude on. But yeah, all in all, it is what it is. I'm not crazy about that setup either, but anyways, that part's done. Moving on to the next part. Alright guys, I know this video is taking longer than normal, but got some stuff in the mail, so I had to put that on and correct some other issues and stuff like that. But got the grounding wire for the battery. Apparently I threw mine away. And a new horn, and I mounted it. You can pretty much mount it any way you want. They tried to tell you to aim it down, I just got it out of the way. I just moved it out of the way. Kind of mad though, because you know, got a new horn that's got the connector, and they cut the connector off of the freaking horn wires, but whatever. It is what it is. Anyways, did that, I was trying to think, cleaned my, they powder coated where I ground my grounding wire at, so I cleaned it with some sandpaper and made sure I'm gonna have good connection there. Gonna have to reroute the grounds that I put down there. See them down there? I'm gonna put them right there. Apparently that was something that was talked about, was they were struggling with some ground issues by just trying to connect it to the pedal box and the other places, so I guess they made actual grounds for the kit itself. So I'm going to do that, see how this goes, and yeah, in a minute I'm probably going to mount that engine up too. And I did the fuel tank, you guys saw that. It was awful. Anyways, good times. Oh yeah, also I went ahead and did my gas tank stuff, like my nozzle and stuff. The threads on this were like had powder coat all in them, and I tried to clean the threads out, and I used the wrong freaking tap, so I ended up having to buy a 1/4 inch what is it, bearded tip or whatever it is, and I bought a 1/4 inch of that and went and got a 1/4 inch tap and re-tapped it for a 1/4 inch, and yeah, it came out fine. It's just aggravating. It was something else I screwed up. So be careful doing that. You want to get the right tap to begin with. I think it was like a 3/8. It's what I was working with to begin with. It's over here. I didn't throw it away. It's a lot smaller. But anyways, that was that. Did I screw up anything else, or mean to tell you guys anything else? I don't think so. I think I got it all on the vlog. The rubber straps, I think I talked about it already. No, I think we're good. Alright, so we're gonna move to the next part. I went ahead and unbolted the turbo inlet because it's too tall. It'll hit the frame if you try to install the motor with the turbo inlet that comes factory. They send you this little baby one. So now I've got to take the O-ring out, clean it up, make sure it's good. If it's not good, I'll have to go buy an O-ring and put it on there, and then put it on the motor. And then the motor in the Goblin. So yeah, that's how that's gonna go. Here we go. Alright guys, that's done. Don't know the torque specs on this, so if anybody knows the torque specs, put it in the comments below. I went ahead and just did it like pre-hand tight right there. I want to see if I can find the torque specs anywhere, but if you know it, put it in the comments and I'll torque it down to the correct torque specs. Alright, I think we're ready to slide her in. Here we go. Alright guys, it's done. The motor's in. I'm pumped. It looks awesome. Tell me what you think. Man, it was sucky too. That whole idea I had about lowering it down with the quick jacks, that was bull crap. It didn't work. That was awful. I thought I had it on film, but I had to pull my jacks out from under it to get it low enough to actually get it to mount up to the bolts here. And whenever I was pulling my jacks out from under it, I had one of those jacks up front, and it fell off the jack and landed on the ground. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've ruined my car, you know. But it didn't even hurt it. It seems to be fine, as far as I know. I mean, I looked up and under it, made sure there's no scratches. But dude, the motor is in. The hype is real. Like, look at this. In there, the blue pops perfect against the white. I loved it. Look at the turbo right there. Baby turbo, killing it. Just enough to beat Huffer. Blow his doors off, I hope. And yeah, man. Transaxle's right there. Hanging out. Dumped a crap ton of oil out whenever I was moving it, but it's alright, I gotta change the oil anyways. Yeah, man, it is just coming together. Ooh, I do love it. So, something to tell you guys about. They have you use the seat bolts from the Cobalt. These are 10 millimeter. They're like that big. It's probably fine. They probably do really well when it's like this, whenever the mount's right there. But this is like, you put a spacer in between these two bolts. And it had like 2 teeth on it. Like, I'll show you, like, I stripped some of the teeth trying to get it to torque down. I mean, it just wasn't enough. It's ridiculous. So I put those in it right now, and I think I'm gonna run to the store and get some longer ones to replace. I may replace all of them with brand new bolts just so they look good. But yeah, it was just ridiculous. Not enough bite. I highly recommend replacing those with something else. Went ahead and mounted it up like that. This is how I saw it do it on Aaron's channel, Aaron Bewley. That's how he ended up doing it. I hope it's correct. I'm gonna look on the forum to make sure, but yeah, this is it. So this is gonna be definitely the end of the video. Sorry it took so long to get out, but it was worth it, man. I just wanted that over with. I wanted the motor in it. I wanted to see that blue sparkle, and it looks so good, especially against the white. We've got flake everywhere, and I love it. I just absolutely hate the powder coat job that these guys did, but that's okay. I'll quit talking about it eventually, but it's all right. Looks so good. Anyways, man, I don't know what I'll get into next. I'm guessing some more stuff in the rear. I've got all these parts like still. I cleaned out the garage too. Something else I did. Took the hose, sprayed it out, swept it out, cleaned out that corner over there, and yeah, did the best I could with that. Still hadn't put in the fuel pump. I don't think they put it in right now. I think that's a later thing. But anyways, oh, I just can't get over it. Alright guys, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit me up on Instagram. I'll post my card up there again for Instagram. Find me, follow me on Instagram, and we'll see you guys next time.